Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. So, I finally got to watch Surreal Life. If everybody remembers, Surreal Life was a show on VH1. I want to say, uh, it might have been 20 years ago. And, it caused the spin-offs of Strange Love, Flavor of Love, I Love New York, Real Chance at Love, because it was like those shows created more shows after them, just based on this one show on VH1. And it was just how for like a while, like for years in the 2000s, VH1 was just all the reality shows and all that. Well, so this season it came back, they rebooted it, and I was just so ham because I love that show. I love watching. They don't have all of them on YouTube, but I love watching the repeats. Sorry, you guys, I have to catch my breath. Whew. I was running around, I was looking for something. Um, I I didn't get a chance to watch it. I think it started on the 24th of October, which is I think last week. So I didn't watch that one. Basically what the premise is these celebrities that they get together, they were celebrities from the past. I don't want to necessarily say has-beens because some of them are still kind of like, maybe not, they're probably not, totally prominent in the news these days, but at one point they were famous or infamous for some reason. And sometimes you are kind of like wondering how they picked who or whatever, because there's so many people they can kind of pick, and I know they have to kind of, I don't know if those people's agents reach out or if the show reaches out to these particular people or how they cast it. But sometimes you are kind of scratching your head because some of them, they're famous, but it's not like to the extent I want to say of a household name. And like on this season, on this reboot, really the only, I would say, household name people are Dennis Rodman and who's the other one? The guy who he played on Malcolm in the Middle. Like the only ones that I think they were kind of known to the point where even if you didn't watch that show, you kind of knew who that little boy was. The guy, Frankie Muniz or Nunez, and and he's really turned into a handsome guy. I remember he was on that show and he was like a young guy and he looked kind of younger than he was or whatever. Um, but everyone else, I know who the rest of them are except there's one I'm not really too familiar with her. There's one person, she's a wrestler or was or. So of course I added all of them on Instagram because I want to follow and see what they talk about, and they're all posting the stuff about the show. Okay, so this cast is Dennis Rodman, Tamar Braxton, who's the other one? Kim Coles, Frankie Muniz, Stormy Daniels, I forget his name, but he's a makeup artist, Manny makeup artist. And I've seen him though. Like, so I didn't know his name, but I've seen him. And there's another person. What is her name? CJ something. I don't know her name, but she's a wrestler. And she's really pretty and everything, but she's a wrestler. I'm not familiar with her though. But so if you watch the other past ones, like one year it had MC Hammer, Vince Neil, Webster, who's the other one? The girl who played Andrea on 90210, the guy from the 80s, Corey Feldman, and then there was some girl from Survivor, and there was another person. There's always somebody out of the bunch that what from what I've noticed from previous seasons, that's kind of like it's more like I don't want to say infamous, but they aren't famous for maybe being a movie star, actress, or singer. It's more like at the time, I think Survivor was big, and so someone from that cast was on there, and back then, and then um let me see, the other season was the one with Flavor Flav, and that was the one that really spawned all these other shows like Flavor Love, like I said before, New York, I Love New York, Real Chance at Love, I Love New York 2, um, just everything was the one with Flavor Flav on it. Flavor Flav, that season had Flavor Flav, Bridget Nielsen, Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block, the guy who played he played Uncle Joey on Full House, but I think he also, they say he was the guy that Alanis Morissette wrote that whole Just F.U. album about because of maybe how he did her. I don't know. I think they said it wasn't true, but I think it was true because they always say he did it. It was, that she dated that guy, and just because he played a nice guy on that show, I mean, who knows how he was off the show, or how he is towards women, or who knows? I don't know. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Rumor has it is about him. Her Jagged Little Pill album. Anyway, the girl from American Idol. Some girl that thought she was like bigger than what she was, and she was so, in my opinion, stuck up on the show. Like she thought she was just better than everybody on there. Something Star, and then who else? I'm trying to remember who else was on that season. Oh, the lady from the 80s or whatever that had the little guitar, Chamo. And then, okay, I don't remember who else was on that one, but then there was another season with Jose Canseco. And I remember him because Janice Dickinson kept talking about his butt. And I was like, what? Jose Canseco, that baseball player. And it was funny because he has a brother, and they're like almost twins or kind of similar looking. I forget. But he came on the show, and they were tricking the people for a minute. I think it was Jose Canseco, the guy from Jose Canseco, Janice Dickinson, the guy that played Balky on what's that show called from the 80s? Perfect Strangers. Omarosa. Who else? Vern Troyer, I think, was on that season. Vanilla Ice. I don't know if Vanilla Ice was on that season or the one with Bridget Nielsen. I don't remember. And the guy who's a porn guy, Ron Jeremy. And then some chick that was on Baywatch, the black girl, Tracy Bingham. And then there's some other people I'm sure I'm missing. But anyway, this season has everyone I named, and then there's another guy named August Alsina, who is the guy that was kind of tangled up in the whole Jada Pinkett, Will Smith thing. So, like a year or two ago. I didn't know much about him. I don't know much about him except from what happened with that story. But on this show, I'm kind of learning stuff about him. And, all I gotta say is, you guys, I don't want to go too deep because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who wants to watch it. But you guys, the comments are going crazy, okay, about everyone gets what Jada saw. Because, okay, you know how there's people who are very, like, they're like, deep types? Like, they'll tell you, this is your problem. You need to see what, they kind of tell you what you're not seeing and how you need to approach this so you can heal and this. And it kind of is helpful, especially in a situation like this show where you're having these different personalities and people who are like, all of them to an extent have, some kind of big reason why they're on there, like, and had something that happened to them. I don't know about the makeup artist guy or Kim Coles, but or the wrestler, because I don't really know about her, but everyone else has some kind of story. Like, Frankie Muniz had some issue, I think, with years ago. I remember he's in the news. They say he had an incident with his wife or his girlfriend. Um, August had the thing with Jada and them. Dennis is Dennis, so he had all his stuff. And Tamar had her thing with the real and everything else. And then Stormy had her thing with supposedly she had a relationship or messed around with Trump back in the day. And then I forget what else. So it's like they all kind of overcame something. And so there's always, what they're trying to do is just like, I like what August said at that dinner that him and Dennis almost butted heads. Because what happened was, okay, on the first episode, they're all meeting each other, everything. But then, okay, Frankie Muniz claimed that they don't know who's on the show before they sign up. But I heard something that Stormy Daniels said that, she said that they asked her who it was because she didn't want to be mixed in with anybody who was like pro-Trump or whatever. I mean, I don't call him Trump, I call him something else, but I'm trying to be political. So, I heard that too, but then they said they assured her that no one was. Everyone was kind of like in the middle or like not supporting him. So it's like, that was what, so she had to have known. Maybe they didn't tell her who specifically, but they said, And at first, I was a little weirded out by Stormy, you guys, because Stormy kind of, to me, has resting witch face. So, like, she's kind of that type that, how someone will know you, and they'd be like, they'll say, hey, or whatever, you go up and talk to them, and then they're all engaged with you talking, and then there's this person kind of looking like, and they're not really, like, engaging. They're showing you visually and otherwise that keep it way over there kind of thing. That's where she comes off. I'm not sure yet. She's kind of coming out of her shell a little bit, but they haven't really got into what happened. But she just is some kind of effed up. She said something she was having when they were having sex or whatever. She's like, he had sex with me and I just wanted to die the whole time. And Roman's all, damn. Like, like, how are you going to say all that? But I don't know if she's going to really go into what happened there. I mean, I'm sure there's contracts and all that, or like gag orders related to some of it. Because, like, even with the August thing, I'm sure there's things they can't really discuss because they have arrangements with the people that their scandal involved, So I didn't watch the first episode all the way because whatever I was using to watch it on VH1's website kept like just showing the part where they come in. Some of the people come in. I did watch the second one and the one where they had that dinner up in that thing. And more power to them. I couldn't have done it. Like, I noticed August didn't go up there. I couldn't have done it because I could probably do it, but like Tamar didn't want to do it at first, but then she did it after because she said this is about conquering your fears and growing and everything like that. So they had dinner up on this thing where they were lifted in the air, and they were all talking. And Dennis was, he's like, let me break it down to you guys for a second. And Dennis was saying how some things he'd gone through, like how he was on a team with someone. He was on the Bulls, right? And he didn't say who it was, but he said how he kind of was saying how how effed up a situation can be where you still gotta do what you gotta do even though your mind's all effed up. He's I had to go and play ball with a guy who was effing my wife, and then we won a championship together. And you don't know who it was. It could have been one of the bench warmers, or it could have been. I doubt it was. My mind thought MJ or Scotty, but I don't think so. I think it was like someone not as famous. Cause I'm pretty sure if it was one of the bigger name ones, it would have definitely been out by now. Who he was talking about, but he didn't say who it was, and so he just said, "And we won the championship, and I still need to be dealing with this dude who was doing this." So everyone was just like, "Wow!" And then he just, he had some moments on the show. He had another moment where later he was like drunk, acting up, and just acting out of pocket. And you know how when someone's drunk, it's like, it's kind of like playing cards. You don't know what hand you're gonna get, because it's like they can either be the kind of drunk that's like, violent or verbally abusive or whatever, or they can be the kind of drunk that's just like all acting a fool. So Dennis just crossed the boundary with Tamar because he was like kind of getting real crazy and like telling her to shut up or something, be quiet, or I forgot what he said. So then he went and August was like, how August came from the whole point of, okay, at this moment everyone's kind of mad or kind of looking like side eye at Dennis because he was acting drunk, or he was drunk, acting really kind of abusive in a way, and then so he left. Frankie Muniz went outside and was like in the room and was like, back up, back away, or what is it called, like trying to calm him down or whatever. Tamar starts crying and everyone's comforting her on the bed, and then August, I guess he gets wind of it because the producers are all around. So, do you hear what happened? That's what's happening behind the scenes, because sometimes people are downstairs, they don't even know what's going on. So, August, okay, the producers and everything go to that floor where the argument happened or the incident happened, and he's I'm trying to go say something to her, like I don't know if he's trying to apologize or what, but she was just like, I'm not hearing it. And she said in her little side interview that once you go there with me, it's like, how, And in that moment, I understood what Tamar was saying, because she said she had a panic attack because of the situation. Because it's like, once you have any kind of like experience, like a bad experience in the past or a bad experience with someone, maybe you had a fight or argument and it got physical, or maybe someone did, when they got mad, they would cuss at you or scream at you or whatever. So when someone else is doing it, especially in an unpredictable state as a drunk person, it triggers something. So you have like an anxiety thing, or you're just like it really shakes you up. And that's why she was crying. So she was in her room and she was crying and everything. Then August saw Dennis downstairs. August went to talk to him and kind of say, look, Dennis is human, but there's some issues there. Obviously he's had a rough life and he's been out there and everything. So he's trying to talk to him, but Dennis was just still kind of fueled by the alcohol. He's probably mad what he did. He's probably embarrassed, or mad that he went at Tamar like that, or whatever. And he was just still kind of fueled by the alcohol. So he just said, you know what, dude, I can't do this. So he told the producer and them, they walked him out. He got a few of his things and walked out. And we thought he was leaving, but he went. I guess he went to a motel that night or a hotel or whatever. Then he came back and they didn't know, because they said, but him and his stuff, his shoes and everything's still in the room. So clearly he wasn't completely gone, but he was like, I need to go. But they made it seem like he was leaving. So he showed him driving off in that car, and then Frankie said everyone was feeling bad, because it's like, obviously we got to that point where he's drinking to that extent where he's not, conscious of how he's coming at people, that it's sad that he feels he has to go or whatever. So then I guess he comes back, and then I think that was episode 2 or 3. So I'm behind. I haven't seen one of the episodes yet, but it airs every Monday night. So I think I actually saw the most recent episode, which is 3. But they showed a clip on YouTube of a dinner scene, and this is the one that has everyone talking. Okay, so Dennis was like sitting there, and he's all, what is your guys' plan for the next 5 years or 5 months? And August answered, and so Dennis was like, well, you don't have to like say if you don't want to feel comfortable with that. So August starts going into how, because he's kind of a philosophical, feel your emotion type and all that. So I guess Dennis thought it was just going to be some BS. So he kind of cut him off. And August goes, don't interrupt me when I'm trying to answer the question. Or don't ask me something if you're going to interrupt me. or something. And everyone was just like, whoop, like everyone just kind of looked and was doing that kind of uncomfortable, like, okay, and just nervous drinking, like looking, and then you can see Tamar's eyes getting all big, like, oh no. So then I guess that's the part that kind of got to me too, is when um he started kind of telling Dennis what it was, but Dennis at first was like, and then someone in the comments said, oh, if he didn't want to mess with Bad Boy Dennis from the 90s, he would have tore that ass up. I was like, I mean, yeah, but I think in that moment when he had that thing with August, notice that Dennis started, August told him, you need to realize how your behavior affects other people, or like brings a thing out of other people or something. I forget. And Dennis was like, well, I just didn't care because blah, blah, blah. But then when he said, I think you're just so much in Dennis mode of this reputation that Dennis has that you don't think about how your behavior affects other people. And I think he was talking, I don't think he was just talking about that incident at the table with him cutting him off. I think he was talking about in general up until that point at the house, what had happened with Tamar, everything. So he was like, you need to be more conscious of that. So then Dennis was like, yeah, and then Dennis started choking up, and it was so emotional, you guys, and the Kim Coles, and they were like, oh, like they were just, how women get, we're just like, oh, because men don't really kind of show that all the time. They don't show, like, crying or, like, their feelings that much. It's kind of like, they do if they, like, feel like they trust you and stuff, but if they don't, they usually don't as much as females would do. Female just break down in front of anybody if she was in that mode, So it was kind of sad because you kind of saw just what he's dealing with, and it just was like that moment, like, yeah, this dude was right, this dude's half my age, but he's right, he's telling me. And sometimes you hear things from someone 10, 15 years that at one point it hits you, and you've heard that before in your past, how you need to get straightened up. And that's probably what that moment was for him, from what I could gather from what he was saying and his face and everything. So then August is kind of like, was like, Dennis is a good dude in his side interview. Dennis is a good dude, blah, blah. He just needs to, like, so then he started kind of saying some other stuff, and you can see the faces of everyone kind of listening, like, yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Tamara goes, because the way he was talking all smooth and how he was talking, she's like, you're going to get the draws out of somebody in this house. And everyone just starts cracking up. And then Dennis is all, he's all, like, kind of like, calming down, ladies, kind of thing. And even the guys, because the makeup artist guy was like, I was like, like, everyone was just looking because they were just so mesmerized what he's saying, like. And I was like, he was saying something in the second episode, or one of the episodes I saw before that, and that was when it hit me. He was saying something. I was like, now I know what Jada was talking about. Really risking that whole empire for that. So, like, I don't know what it is about him, but it's like I kind of can see it what women are talking about now. I hadn't really noticed it before that. I was like, what? This is the guy that, And so the comments on his Instagram are hilarious. These women are like, "Oh, you doing it, daddy," and stuff like that. I'm like, so at the end, so he starts laughing because Tamar says that. The Stormy, everyone's just cracking up, and then he, like, I forgot what happened after that. So then that clip kind of ends. And I saw what August was saying, too. Because I was like, yeah, it's like, bruh, you're asking something. Are you asking to understand me or get to know what my mind thinks? Or are you asking just to be funny and drama? And I think that's where he was at. And I think if you look deeper than that, I think it was because all the drama from the year and a half since this show, before the show, has been about the entanglement. Jokes, everything. Even Chris Rock was like, I just asked Will what Jada's favorite month was. None of the guy's name's August, so, or I just said Jada's favorite month is August. So it's like, there's been a lot of jokes questioning the media and bothering him. So I think that all in that moment was just like, bruh, you know. Some people in the comments feel he overreacted in that scene. He just needed to kind of wrap it up and say, don't interrupt me. But I think that moment needed to happen because Dennis needed to know, that dude, not everyone's just on like 90 miles per hour mode mentally. Some people are like, let me get my thought out. And when someone just stands there, puts their phone to the side, or doesn't, just listens to you and listens what you have to say and doesn't interrupt you, it's just like the most amazing thing, especially when everyone had dealt with someone who doesn't do that. And they're just like, they cut you off, they ask you some other unrelated thing. Like, someone does that all the time. In my family. And it's like, oh my God, dude, like, and it's just like someone said in the comments, it's like, what about what I'm saying? Like, hello, It's like what you're saying doesn't matter at that moment, So I get where August was coming from. And some people are saying he's acting like he knows everything, but I'm like, no, I think he's just because you're telling someone something that they should work on doesn't mean you're saying you're perfect. You're just saying, look, I've already learned already what, you should have learned 30 years ago, Dennis. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and so, in that scene, that I just remember. So she goes, you gonna get some of these drawers up in this house, and everyone's laughing, right? Because the way he was just talking and everything, and he starts like just laughing. It was so funny. And then like she goes, so they fade out, and she goes, oh, she's like, I gotta go get my she's like, I gotta go to my bed now. I'll be back, guys. And I was like, oh, I bet Andy went by her rooms could be like, zzz. It was funny. I was like, she's gonna go play with her little rose toy and think about August. That was funny. But yeah, so it's funny, you guys. I replayed that clip so many times when she was like, you gonna have somebody's drawers up in this house. Because that's totally like what my mom would say or somebody, I haven't heard that word in so long. But so yeah, all the women were looking and the guys were like, yep. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get going. I was gonna wait until 10 because I have an eye appointment, but I have to wait till tomorrow. They said the earliest I could get is tomorrow at 1:20. I did that. I could have done an earlier one, but since I have work tomorrow, I just figured I'll do the 1:20. Then I'll go have something to eat, and then I'll go to the train or whatever. So I just did it the 1:20 one instead of the one in the morning. But yeah, so I'm gonna see what's wrong with this eye. Why it's acting up. Why it's kind of slanting when I try to focus on things. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. And the physical therapy department's been looking for me. I guess from Kaiser, they sent me a letter like saying a referral, and I'm probably gonna call them. But honestly, guys, I'm kind of frustrated with all that. Because I feel like, yeah, I know physical therapy works, it has its moments, but you can't, like I said before all that, you can't, like, what can you do at work with physical therapy? You can't lay down and do the position right there. Like, it's like, so I just get frustrated because the pill thing. Like, I feel like I was talking to this lady in the lift, and she said it's the same thing with her. Like, they didn't want to give her ish, And I'm like, they just want you to be like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like your body, and they just always want to kind of make you feel like, do this instead, do that, and it's just like, so I'm just kind of like in a mood about it. I just feel like, I don't really care enough to answer them. They've been calling, but then I need to cancel probably the spine people too, the appointment. I have a phone appointment today with them at 4. But I ain't trying to talk to them. I'm over it. Like, I'm just gonna deal with it how I've been dealing with it. Like, honestly. And I just gotta figure it out. because it's like I feel like um I don't know. It's kind of just I just don't want to talk about it anymore because it kind of upsets me a little bit. But anyway, you guys, I will keep you posted on everything. Either way. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Okay, remember watch the Surreal Live. Dennis Rodman, Stormy, everybody. Tamar, Braxton. Oh, and remember Tamar walked in the house the first day she's all, did you date my sister like back in the day? Or because remember those two basketball players were fighting over Tony Braxton? But it was Jason Kidd and some other dude. Jim Jackson, I think. I forget. And Dennis probably has to look like because I don't think Dennis dates black girls. I think he only dates like white girls. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.